everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you a few handstand tips. So I know that handstand is often the big goal pose for a lot of people. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, it's just a pose, but they are super fun to play with. So I thought that I would share with you a few of my tips. So number one, you're going to be testing your balance, your core strength, your shoulder strength, and your shoulder flexibility as well. So you want to really build things up into your practice that are going to help develop that. So lots of chaturanga push-ups, lots of arm balances on your hands, headstands and headstand flows are a great one to do because you get that inversion energy. You're going upside down, but you're pushing into the mat with the shoulders and you're really beginning to find space, build shoulder strength there. Also boat pose flows, popping that into your practice. Those are excellent things to do as well. So hand placement, number two. You want hands really spread nice and wide, so like starfish. And then you want to be able to dig into the mat, like you're digging into wet sand. So you want some movement in the fingers. I like to call them spider hands. So you just kind of have some movement in the knuckles. You got some grip with the fingertips. And that to me was a key thing. Once I got that, then my handstand started to develop a little bit more. So where do you look? Number three, where do you look? So often, if you think about the spine, the neck is an alignment of the spine as well. So if you want that inversion energy going all the way up, pushing the mat away, energy through the toes, you want to drop the gaze a little bit. So instead of gazing forwards of your hands, think about gazing in between your hands, so kind of in between the thumbs. So you have a little bit more of a drop in the head. It's less stress on your neck, so you're not going to be kind of tensing up and holding yourself there. And it's a more natural elongation for the spine. Next one is hamstrings and hips. So although you're going to be upside down, you're using your shoulders, you need a lot of flexibility in your hamstrings and your hips in order to get yourself upside down and also to keep yourself upside down. So handstand is more of a hip opener than what you think. You want kind of a roll through the hips as you go up. You need the flexibility there. So I will show you a few little hamstring and hip openers that you can do to prep you. And finally, my last one for you is natural movement. So you want to think about rocking forwards, rocking back, shifting the weight, playing with the balance and seeing what happens rather than bringing stress into your practice and thinking, I really need to nail this pose and I've got to have my hands like this and my arms really tense. And no, I mean, that might work for gymnasts. I'm not saying it doesn't, but for yogis, we have a little bit more of an easygoing approach. And if you approach things in an easygoing way, so in a Strala way, nice easygoing, moving with breath, just having a little explore, see what happens, then you're more likely to get the pose because you're taking the stress out of it. Doesn't matter if you get it or not, just have a play, see what happens. So now I'm going to take you through a few little hamstring and hip openers that I like to do in order to prep for handstand. So I suggest that you warm up first. If you're not warmed up, then hit pause. Go and click the video down below and it will give you a little warm up and then come back here. Okay, so feet spread out nice and wide, toes point towards the long edge of the mat. Bring the hands to the hips. Take a big inhale to lengthen through the spine. And then on your next exhale, begin to fold forwards and soften. Bring the hands down to the earth and just begin to bend through one knee and then the other. Nice little sway side to side. Letting go of the head, letting go of the neck. And just keep moving with your own breath, finding space. And then we'll take a nice deep breath in, lift the gaze, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and then walk the hands over to the right foot. Then that right knee, straighten through the left leg. Bring lots of length and space to this inner hamstring. And then switch the knees, so you bend the left knee and then straighten the right leg. And then release, bring the hands back through center, hands over to the left, bend the left knee, straighten through that right leg. So again, you feel the stretch on the inner hamstring, into the hips a little bit as well. And then switch, so you bend the right knee, straighten the left leg. And then release, come back through center, take a big inhale, and then exhale, fold. Again, just letting go of the head, letting go of the neck, breathing here. Lengthen space. Well, inhale, lift the gaze, walk the hands all the way up to the right foot, and then come into a pigeon pose. So you soften down through that right hip, hands underneath the shoulders, lift up through the hips, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, fold forward, soften, breathing into the belly. You don't have to come super low here, maybe just stay on the forearms for the moment. And then inhale, lift the gaze. Come back to your wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to stretch out the shoulders, bring the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart, and then exhale, fold forwards. And again, you can take a little bit of a wiggle side to side. And then exhale, release, hands come down. Walk your hands over to the left-hand side, come into pigeon pose on this side, back leg straight and strong. Just remembering one side might feel a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay, that's totally normal. Lift up through the heart. And then exhale, fold. Again, you don't have to come super low down. I'm just staying on my forearms for the moment. Just keeping the spine long, gaze forwards, and really keeping the hips nice and square here. And then inhale, come back up. Pivot your feet so you come back to that nice wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, feet together, come all the way up to stand. So now we're going to approach handstand. So you don't want to do this against the wall, and I just say that because if you want to learn to handstand in the middle of the room, then you start in the middle of the room. And you'll soon learn how to fall and how to fall safely, find what feels good for you. So you begin at the back of your mat, bring your hands down to the earth. So remember, hands about shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider. I like mine slightly wider. You want some movement in the fingertips. And then you come into like a really short downward facing dog. So really short down dog. You'll have your favorite leg, so one that feels more natural to lift up. So lift that one up. Come onto the ball of the other foot, which in my case is my right. Bend the knee, little hop. Come back down. Bend the knee, little hop. Come back down. Bend the knee, little hop. Come back down. So when you have that little play around, see what happens, then you begin to kind of get an idea of what it feels like on the hands. When you start to catch the balance, first thing is you'll probably panic, and that's okay. Try to breathe and just have a little play around with the legs. So if you think about a seesaw, split legs, like this. So split legs is easier to keep balance because you're constantly tipping forwards, tipping back, than if you were going for that straight leg handstand. So let's give it a go. So push the mat away, little hop, and down, little hop, and down. So as you catch the balance, really squeeze that bottom leg into your sit bones. Keep extending out through the top leg. And we'll give it another go. So just have a little play, see what happens. Not so serious, doesn't really matter. and then fall out to the side. So kind of think of like a cartwheel. So pick your exit strategy or find your exit strategy. I know I'm always going to fall to the right, so I am ready for it and I'll land on my feet. So if you can do a cartwheel, you can fall out of a handstand. So push the mat away, flex the toes, maybe extend the legs. Woo! And then when you're ready, come down, nice easy forward fold. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Do keep playing around, having a little play, trying, see what works, and yeah, let me know how you get on in the comments down below. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next video.